Thank you, Mr. President. As we are hearing during this debate, the naming of Macedonia has been a diplomatic headache since the breakup of Yugoslavia, clearly illustrating a deep-seated contradiction within the EU. As a candidate country with aspirations of EU membership, Macedonia must align to the common foreign and security policy. As my country prepares to decide on our continued EU membership, we are already hearing one argument for remaining is that somehow the CFSP acts as an amplifier for British foreign policy, despite our permanent seat on the UN Security Council and our NATO membership. Yet the Macedonian naming issue highlights precisely how the EU is not an amplifier for member state foreign policy. Rather, it is an independent force with its own logic, sometimes at odds with those member states, for the sake of its own aims. Mr. President, the EU discredits British foreign policy in Gibraltar by backing Spain against Gibraltarians, even though they are, of course, EU citizens. Thus, the UK is not treated any differently, and nor will we be if we give the Commission free rein by voting to remain EU members on June the 23rd. Thank you.
Σας ευχαριστώ κύριε Κάρβερ. Έχετε μια μπλε κάρτα από τον κύριο Τάνοκ. Την αποδέχεστε? Κύριε Τάνοκ, έχετε 30 δευτερόλεπτα αν θέσετε την ερώτηση.
You raised the issue of Gibraltar, which clearly is not part of this debate. In the event of Brexit, what kind of leverage would the United Kingdom have over the Madrid government in keeping the border of Gibraltar and Spain open? Why is it that almost all Gibraltarians will be voting to remain and virtually none voted for your party at the last European election? They know full well that Britain remaining in the European Union is the only way in which Spain will be obliged to keep that border open. Please comment.
Κύριε Κάρβερ, έχετε 30 δευτερόλεπτα για την απάντηση.
Mr. Tannock, one day you'll realise that the EU is not the answer for everything. I mean, this is the hypocrisy of the issue. We have one rule for Spain with regards to her territories in Morocco and one rule for the British territory of Gibraltar. And doesn't that just highlight the hypocrisy of this place? We have our organisation of other international organisations, the United Nations Security Council, which we are a permanent member of, and I think we will be in a far better position to actually stand up for British interests and British citizens' interests, including our dependent territories, when we reclaim our place as a global trading nation and turn our back on this shambles of democracy.